Kablam.
Perfect. Greetings and welcome to IFB Interfleet Broadcasting, our award-winning pop culture, sci-fi news and entertainment channel. I'm New York Pete, along with my best friend Chris the Tipsy Toaster.
Yo.
We have a great show for you. Our unique spin on our show comes from the fact that we grew up watching 70s, 80s TV movies, cartoons, reading those comic books and going to conventions. And everyone also needs to know that we're big Battlestar Galactica fans. Our hearts lie in 78, but we love the entire franchise. So there you have it all.
Everything sci-fi rocks.
Absolutely.
Even 100%. The crappy stuff rocks.
Yeah, we like that too. We grew up.
I
on
missed
all
out.
That.
Did you see? Somebody posted on Facebook today that they were doing a special 4K version of Outland.
Oh, no kidding!
And I went to go to the pre-order page.
Yeah, sold out. Yeah, of course.
Son of a...
Oh, Outland is so good. We talked about that before.
I love Outland. That's
wow.
an amazing
show.
show.
Oh my God!
It's almost as good as Zardoz, but not quite.
No, yeah. Outland is Zardoz is you got to be kind of
mind bending.
Yeah, no kidding.
In the time of there were some definite drugs going on when they filmed that movie.
That's no question about it.
Thanks. You know what we ought to do? What we ought to do is, Sean Connery, are you okay wearing a magenta diaper?
Oof. Oh my God, I can't. We
can
talked
imagine.
about this.
Sean's like, oh, yeah, sure, what?
A lot of money to get him to do that, but yeah. So hey, thanks. We have a whole bunch of our regulars are tuning in. Dave and Eric and Professor Patton, Rick, Janet's with us as well. Janet Jenkins. Hey, how are you? Thank you for tuning in. So before we get too far into things, let's make sure I'm gonna grab something to drink, and we're gonna give our toast. Yeah, are you ready?
I'm kinda.
Well, yeah, I have to reach over that way to get something. But
watch where you're pointing, man. You can hurt somebody. I got a duck.
Well, let me tell you something.
You're in outer space there. You're like, it's
Yeah,
cold out there.
yeah, it could be. I started a new book, Chris. I think you're gonna like it. There's hints of a lot of different things. It's called Generation Ship, and
Think, who's that by? Fox?
that is by, hold on, I'll tell you right now, Michael Mamet.
Maybe not.
It's actually has hints of Logan's Run, Silo. It's
Yeah,
so
cool.
far
I'll
so
check it out.
good. Yeah, yeah, so far so good. I'll let you know. I just started it
Audiobook,
and
right?
audiobook. Yeah, it's
Cool.
really cool. As a matter of fact, I saw it in a bookstore when I was in Cincinnati, visiting the Hall of Justice.
The Hall of Injustice. What was the
So,
what was the one in the swamp?
oh, that's the Legion of Doom.
Legion of Doom. Yes, there
Legion
we
of
go.
Doom.
You didn't.
Yeah.
You should have. I mean, if you're gonna visit the Hall of Justice, you got to go visit the Legion of Doom.
The Legion of Doom, it always reminded me of Darth Vader's helmet a little bit.
Yep, yep, it did.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if
But
that was out before Star Wars,
yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This
So hey, I think somebody should
the
sue somebody for that. Who
Super
knows?
Friends, man, 1973, September 8th on a Saturday morning.
Yep,
Used to sneak down to the TV and
that
put
was
that on and
before, but that was before Wonder Twins, right? And that was stupid.
oh, they had
Gleek,
yeah, they had
Gleek, and the
yep,
Wonder
that's right.
Twins,
And the
and
Wonder Twins and they had all kinds of yeah, man.
nah,
Yeah, I know, I
that
know, I
was
know.
that was horrible.
So so you didn't I did well, you know what? Let's do you have your drink? Yeah, are you ready to toast the
Yeah, I can
fans?
be. Yeah,
Okay,
I
can we?
have. Since you're doing tea tonight, I'm going to do tea tonight.
Oh, you can do tea, but you're gonna do a different kind of tea. All right, let me reach over. I'm reaching over, and okay. Stand by for.
Iced
Oh my
tea.
God, you're preparing yours. Yeah, okay.
It'll be iced tea
Right.
tonight.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Wow.
Mmm.
Okay.
Look at that.
Oof.
Mmm. What is this? 4%? No, 5% alcohol by volume. I don't know
That's
if I'm
it.
going to
Just
be
five?
just five.
Just 5%?
Don't worry,
Yeah.
I have my backup, so I'm
Oh,
good.
you got the backup?
Yeah,
Okay.
I bought
Yeah, it's
another.
good to
I
have.
love that stuff there. But anyways,
Okay, it's good to
we
have.
won't go there. Let's not go there. All
No, no,
right.
let's not go there. Yeah.
So we
Okay.
want to go ahead and thank everybody out there. We
That's right.
appreciate the
That's
fandom.
right.
It is all about the fandom. You
It
are the
is.
people who create new worlds. You are the people who live in those worlds mentally, sometimes physically, and hey, you never know.
Never know.
Never know.
Yep.
Anyways, it's important that we recognize the people that create the fandom and are part of the
Yep.
fandom because fans feel the fleet. So here's to
That's
you.
right. You see you guys. All right.
Mm,
So with that said, we have Tiny Bean Tara is waiting in the green room.
Tiny Bean
However,
Terra.
I did
I
want
gotta
to,
find that back. I lost that in my
yeah,
computer somewhere.
you guys. So I put up a quick little video from location at the Cincinnati Union Terminal building, and it was really really cool, guys. I think it's worth it if you're a fan, you're a geek. You know that it was in Superman 2025. They used the location. They closed it off, and we were told that it was near impossible to get in. Security was that tight. So they filmed, the one that scene where the three heroes are actually at the Hall of Justice, and then we were told that they also did a another. They they supposedly used the building. The building is really really big in and of itself. So the Daily Planet scene is supposedly filmed there as well.
Hmm.
You'd never know, but that's what we were told by
I'm
those
sorry,
that
that's
were
DC. I
in the
don't
know.
really pay attention to it that
Yeah,
much.
yeah, yeah. It was well. Look, for those of you who saw Superman, it was pretty good. It was good. Liked it. Glad I saw it in the movies. And that was that. The inspiration of going on the road trip was really the whole of Justice and the Super Friends,
Hall of
and it
Injustice. Got
was
it.
yeah, it was really cool. But anyway, so Tiny Bean, I saw your setup for tonight, and I think it's great, and I'm
Mm,
looking forward to it.
cool. Oh,
Oh yeah.
I'm excited. Can't wait. Good to see you. Good to see everybody.
All right.
S-
I am
Ready?
somewhat ready.
All right.
Okay.
Take the somewhat. Take the somewhat
Take
and
the
run.
somewhat, and we'll bend it and make it a what?
Yes.
Or some. Just make it a some.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Take it away.
Amazing.
I don't have the song. I've got to find it again. It somehow got deleted off
I
the
Oh,
computer.
know. I miss
you,
my theme
he
song.
gets demerits for that. He gets
Tiny
demerits.
bean Tara.
Sarah.
Da, 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 da.
The Sinatra one is my favorite, I think. Yeah, it's just right. All right, you good to go, Tipsy?
Physically,
We can
we're
hope,
good.
right?
We're good. We'll make it. We'll make it work.
We'll make it work. That's what I like to hear. Well, hello, IFB. Great to be here. Welcome to Tiny Bean's Corner, where we discuss new, old, and otherwise interesting things for the fleet's potential viewing pleasure. It's my job to scour the list of what is coming to streaming and the big screen and pick out gems for you to try and save you the work. I have some fun stuff for you all tonight, so let's dig in. This is the time of year I love some good mystery action thrillers, and I have three interesting shows up and coming on streaming for the fleet that fit that bill. First up, check out the miniseries Task, coming to HBO on September 7th. An FBI agent played by Mark Ruffalo is setting up a task force to handle a string of violent robberies in the suburbs of Philadelphia. The suspect is a simple family man. Brought to us by Brad Inglesby, who wrote the excellent Mayor of Easttown series we followed a few years back. This one looks very promising. In addition to Ruffalo, the cast includes Tom Pelphrey, Martha Plimpton, and Jamie McShane. This one is getting a lot of buzz, gang. Let's check it out together. It will hit September 7th on HBO. Next up, we talk a lot here in the corner about how great Apple TV is for sci-fi. They have a terrific record of hits we follow, including our beloved Severance. But they also drop some really interesting action and crime drama. This one coming up looks especially intriguing. It's called The Savant, and it stars Academy Award-winning actress Jessica Chastain, known for such classics as Zero Dark 30 and Interstellar. Here, she is playing a top-secret investigator who infiltrates online hate groups to bring down terrorists. Sounds like fun to me. The lead writer, Melissa James Gibson, is also known for House of Cards. This one is being called a tense, high-stakes thriller that will keep you on the edge of your seat. So, if you're checking out Apple TV for Foundation and Silo and all the other cool sci-fi series, give this new thriller a shot. The trailer is lit. The Savant will air starting September 26th. Last in previews, guys, coming to Netflix in early October is the film adaptation of a very popular and thrilling best-selling novel called The Woman in Cabin 10. It follows a journalist named Joe who boards a yacht full of wealthy folks for a travel assignment, and in the night she believes she saw a woman thrown overboard. But did she really? This is a complex story about gaslighting, classism, and more. If they adapt the book well, we are in for quite a ride. Expect surprises. Starring Academy Award winner Keira Knightley, Hannah Waddingham, and Guy Pearce, among others. This film will hit Netflix on October 10th. Now, in reviews this week, I have a couple of gems for you. Check out the limited miniseries Hostage on Netflix. Full disclosure, I was skeptical on this one going in, but I'm very glad I did. Imagine a world, if you will, where the Prime Minister of England is dealing with terrorists who have kidnapped some scientists, including her husband. At the same time, the President of France is dealing with terrorists threatening to expose her sex scandal. And oh yeah, did I mention there is also a shortage of pharmaceutical drugs in Europe too? Well, put it all together and you have Hostage. Put away your skepticism of the more far-fetched elements. I know I say that a lot on here, and you will be rewarded. Likewise, sticking through the slower parts in the first episode will make for a good payoff. The pace is measured but punctuated with surprises and gasps. It is one of those things in the corner that I always praise. A show that gets stronger as it goes instead of petering out. Starring Suran Jones, Ashley Thomas, Julia Delpy, and Martin McCann, amongst a really strong ensemble supporting cast. This is a truly solid, enjoyable political thriller that does not overstay its welcome. So catch Hostage now on Netflix. And now, guys, the one I have been waiting for. I hope you all are following Alien Earth on Disney's Hulu. What do you think, gang? We are 4 episodes in, which means midway through the season, and I, for one, am having the time of my life. This is not the show I expected it to be, but it is outstanding. There is so much to unpack here, and so much for me to not give away. Let's start with the basics. Set in the Alien universe 2 years before the original film, we are introduced to an Earth that no longer really has countries or governments per se, but is in reality run by 5 corporations, Weyland-Yutani being one of them. We are also introduced to a trillionaire boy genius who has created a procedure where the soul and brain of a young person who's dying can be melded into a synthetic body, creating a hybrid. Why a young person? Because their brains are more flexible and adaptable. So he creates a group of hybrids in adult bodies, but eternally young. And they are the Lost Boys. And our lead is Wendy. The Peter Pan parallels abound, guys. When a science ship carrying several different alien life forms crashes to Earth, it's a classic crew expendable save the aliens situation. They send in the hybrids to help. Very interesting setup. It just gets creepier from here. The new aliens are just as wild as our Xenos. If you haven't seen episode 4, Observation, yet, oh boy, that eyeball monster is still giving me chills. Kudos to the main actors, especially Sydney Chandler as Wendy, who makes it entirely believable that inside she's 12 years old. Timothy Oliphant as Kirsch has all the best lines. Samuel Blanken as the boy genius is channeling both Paul Reiser from Aliens for Ick Factor and Guy Pearce's privileged genius Wayland from Prometheus. And Babu Cisse walks in the evil footsteps of giants like Ian Holm and Michael Fassbender. But for the fans, it's the impeccable attention to detail of the sets and costumes. You truly feel like you're watching something that takes place in the time of the Nostromo. Ridley Scott famously said when he showed up to watch filming just 3 words, F, that's my sad. So they are not playing around here, guys. So much more to talk about, but again, I don't want to give anything away. I just hope that you're all watching. Noah Hawley, the creator, is truly a fan. No one but a true fan could make something this layered, detailed, and nuanced. And as we always say here on IFB, fans fuel the fleet. Back to you, Pete.
Excellent. Oh my God, so many cool things there to unpack.
Mm.
But Apple has been coming through with just a lot of great shows. And I think you've hit on every single one. So it's kind of, it's a time for sci-fi and there's a time for fantasy and it sometimes it's you get that dry season, that dry spell, but so far we've been busy trying to keep up with Star Trek Strange New Worlds.
Mhm.
There's a lot of good episodes there too, but your choices are always spot on. I am keeping up,
No?
and there's the one thing that you did bring up last time, and I did kind of look into a little bit of the Jaws 50th anniversary. That's
Yeah.
been going on. I did go to Martha's Vineyard. I shared some of the pictures. So that was a lot of fun. I know that I think you might be going to watch the re-release, right?
Yes, they're showing it locally at the
Ooh.
Palace Theater in Lake Placid. Cannot wait to see that on the big screen in the old theater where my family got to see it when I was a kid and was too young to go with them.
Okay, things coming off full circle.
Yeah.
Uh, so are you aware, just to pivot real quick before I forget this tidbit, that Knight Rider reboot is in the works from the Cobra Kai creators? And
Yes.
so that's been released, that's out there, and we'll see. There's fingers crossed that that gets into slowly making their way.
Yeah, there's just so much good stuff coming,
Oh
guys.
yeah,
Really,
yeah, yeah.
there's good stuff on now, and there's good stuff coming soon. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Next time I'm on, I'm going to talk about some more like we've got Tron coming, we've got another
Yes.
Predator, we've got this so much good stuff, guys.
What about Severance? Are you keeping up? Are you able to?
I am finished.
Oh, you
I
really?
finished and I loved it. I thought it was
Okay, okay,
fantastic.
cool.
I think I mentioned one of the recent times that I was on that it has like almost a record number of Emmy nominations
Mhm.
right now. So it is the front runner. So catch
Ooh,
up, guys,
all
because
right,
they're
cool.
they're definitely good. There's going to be a third season and there's a lot of questions to be answered.
As a matter of fact, Professor Patton just posted they're releasing a new expanded soundtrack of Jaws, unreleased cues from the original soundtrack album.
Wow.
Interesting.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
very
Love
cool.
it. Yeah.
Well, great job, Tiny Bean, and
Thank you.
thank you. We look forward to your segment, and we look forward to having you back soon.
Amazing. Thank you so much, guys. Fan fuel the fleet, and I'll see you guys soon.
All right,
Enjoy.
here's to you. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
All right. Wow, cool stuff. So cool. Yeah, yeah. Yes, time to drink to you too. All right. Yes, Rob Baum, our unofficial fact checker. Thanks for joining us, Rob. Uh, this is what number reboot of Knight Rider? I don't know. I'm
No,
not
I don't know.
sure.
Yeah, it's a lot.
There must have been a couple of attempts, but this
I remember
one
Knight
looks
Rider
like it's
2000,
yes, that's
the Knight
right.
Rider that was the Mustang.
Oh yeah,
I don't
wow,
remember
I'd
what that one
forgotten
was.
about that one. I forgot about that
That was
one.
a Knight Rider the
Oof.
Mustang, Knight Rider 2000, which was the
Yeah.
red car, I believe.
Yes. Now, we also have to mention that Dragon Con is on.
Yep, most of our people are probably there.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure.
I would imagine I would be, yeah, I mean, they were scheduled to go. If you're at Dragon Con, or if you catch this while it's still on, I know that John One is there. He's made some promo buttons. So if you see him, he will give you a one of those ribbons, an IFB ribbon, and this time it's a black ribbon. So we went with white ones when we went, and now there's black ones, and then there's also a button that was put together specifically for Dragon Con. So John One has those. Look for John One, look for Lola. I believe Superfan Fran is there, and there might be a few others. Of course, Commander Kane is there. I
Yep,
know
yep.
that. So Paul, I know you're having a grand old time there. Mediocre Modeler, you are not at Dragon Con, but that's okay. Thanks for jumping on. I appreciate
Someday
you.
we'll get you there.
So yeah, no kidding. But so guys, don't forget Sean Shallow, Battlestar Bulletin Board, and Mediocre Modeler, and everybody else that are part of our extended IFB family. They're keeping Galactica and Sci-Fi and the old shows that we like. They're keeping them alive and doing a tremendous job on social media. So don't
Yep,
forget to tune in to their
their
platforms,
platform. Yeah,
right?
their
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 uh their
places.
shows and programs, and yeah. So
Excuse me.
yeah, that's great stuff. Great stuff. So, you know what? We didn't do this last time, Chris.
What's that
So
drink?
why don't
Okay, so we
we
can drink again. Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Hmm.
Give it a shot. But
Mm.
we didn't do this, and
What didn't we
I was
do?
remiss. We didn't shout out to the TV shows, right? We had an idea and we wanted to put it out and we wanted to let you guys
Shout
that are
out
with
to
us
the
here
TV
live.
shows.
And yeah.
You have to remind me. It's been a
Yeah.
week,
We had
evidently.
discussed, yeah, it's been a little bit more, I think.
Too much
And
going
it
on in the
was
cybertronic brain.
that's for sure, man. You got to turn up the heat on the third brain. But 70s 70s TV shows.
70s TV
Favorite
shows.
70s TV shows. That's how we start that. Favorite TV
Police Squad.
70s. Ah, come on.
It was a
Uh,
TV show. It was great.
well,
That was Police Squad before it became The Naked Gun.
yeah. Oh, okay, that's right. That's right. Okay, so you guys out there, we want to hear from you. We mentioned Knight Rider already, so that's one.
Six.
That's kind
Scott
of
and
cool.
Eric are sick, so they should be watching lots of TV.
Oh yeah.
Watch
So
some,
let's.
rewatch some Logan's Run. I don't think that's
Oh my
70s, though,
God,
was it?
that's 70s.
Well, the movie was 70s. The TV show
Yeah.
was after the
It's
70s.
okay. Hey, Rob. Can you pull up when
Was Police Squad 1982? No. Really?
Police Squad was 82?
Wow.
Wow. What about Logan's Run? All right, that was
Logan's
straight
Run
from
was
Professor
definitely
Patton.
in the 80s, I believe. So
I
now we're
don't
looking
know
for
about
70s.
that.
So this is
I'm a
tough.
little, yeah, I
We're
don't
talking,
know.
and you were talking TV shows, not movies, right? Or are we talking both?
TV
TV
shows.
shows.
Yeah, TV shows.
Well, of course, there was
So
Space 1999. That's a safe bet.
yeah, that's definitely a safe bet. Logan's Run was 77, 78. Thank you, Professor Patton.
Wow.
Yeah.
At
Oh
least
my
that was
God.
70s.
Yeah, 70s.
So
So Logan's
Battlestar.
Run. Yeah.
What else was
Battlestar
70s?
78. Yep. So those are, yeah, Scott Good, of course, BSG, yes. But what else? What other ones? Because man, we hit the big some of the big ones. There's a lot of other great. I
I
mean,
want
it's
to
open to
say
cartoons. It's open
Nightman
to
and Fall
Nightman.
Guy and those kind of things were all
Those are
80s.
80s, man. Those are
Yep.
definitely 80s.
Well, the Bionic
Buck
Woman.
Rogers,
Yeah.
Bionic Woman and a $6 million man, but
Yep.
no, Buck Rogers followed Battlestar,
Yep. So
so I think
79, 80 probably.
79, 80, maybe 79. Yeah, Bionic Woman, definitely. Yes, Janet comes in
Dun,
with
dun, dun, dun,
Bionic
dun, dun,
Woman.
dun, dun.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't the dog? Didn't they have the Bionic dog too at that point in time?
And there was one episode where they created a bionic man that had two bionic arms and two bionic legs. And I watched the clip where he challenges Steve Austin to arm wrestle in the bar, and he's like, couldn't believe that he's like, oh, you thought that what's his name, Oscar Goldman only created one.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? Yeah, it was really cool. Incredible Hulk.
Yep.
What about the Incredible Hulk, man?
Man.
Oh,
Lou
Land of the
Ferrigno.
Lost.
I met him.
Land of the Lost.
Great guy.
Land of the
Land of
Lost.
the Land of the
Land
Lost,
of the
Lost, Lost.
Lost.
Slee
Yes.
Stack was awesome. I think Slee Stack were actually pre Cylons.
They're
Right?
of the same race.
Could
They
be.
could be interdimensional. That's right.
There you go.
There was,
Push
we're-
that over.
Yeah. This is we're doing
V would have been that too, but V I think was in the 80s.
V's. Yeah.
V was 80s.
V was 80s. V was
Yeah,
80s.
V
I
was
remember
80s.
reading the books in high school for sure. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. We have. Did you know that for scenes where a character jumps up over a fence or a wall, it was filmed in reverse? Oh,
Huh.
That's excellent. That's
Yep.
yeah,
83 V.
yeah. V was 83. There you go. We're gonna have
Almost the 70s. That close.
almost, yeah. Not close enough though. Doc McCauley will be coming on, and I'm gonna have to forward you some stuff.
Oh,
Um,
okay. I'll be
Yeah. So
once
yeah,
again. I'll
you're
be,
gonna be busy.
in the background.
You'll be busy. Yeah, you'll be busy.
What'd you think of our new beginning?
I love it. It's the
Isn't that
Miami
cool or
Vice
what?
thing, man. It's the whole Miami Vice thing, man. It's so cool.
I
you kidding?
rewatched a couple of episodes the other day because I just got
Did ya?
thumbing through it, and I was just like, one of my favorite episodes is out where the buses don't run, and it was close. The wife talked me out of it.
What?
I was getting ready to go, but there's the 41st anniversary of Miami Vice is going on in September
Oh,
in
come
Miami,
on.
and unfortunately the tickets were a little higher priced than what I expected. So I'm going to save up
Oh,
for next year, but I will be going next year.
oh, come
I
on,
will be
man.
going next
Come
year.
on.
So 42nd anniversary, but they had the guy who played what the hell's his name? He played such a great part in that Out Where the Buses Don't Run. He played a crazy detective. I rewatched that one the other day. Just
Oh, yeah.
amazing.
Oh, boy.
And of course, I
Cool.
rewatched the pilot because I just love the pilot. There's a lot of stuff going on in the pilot.
Oh,
But
cool.
yeah, I watched
I
a
did. We
bunch of them.
watched, we watched, I think we rewatched it,
Oh,
that and a couple episodes during, when I went to Miami. Remember? I think it was
hmm
like, when was last year?
yeah.
And,
One of the parts of the Miami Vice thing was they actually have a boat tour and a bus tour that would actually go around to
oh,
all of the places where it was filmed
oh
and
boy.
stop and things like that. So, and then
Oh,
a lot of
man.
the signings were at the hotels that were on the south, the strip there.
I am surprised that, yeah, I could have thought you were going. Fantastic Journey. Roddy McDowell, 76. Planet of the Apes, the TV series, came out in 74. I remember that show. And there was an animated, there was an
It
animated
was an
Professor
animated one.
Patton.
Yep.
There was an animated one, which I started rewatching not too long ago. I'd say a few months ago. I was you know, trying to rewatch, and it was just I couldn't keep up. I mean, it's so difficult to keep up
Man
with
from
all this
Atlantis,
stuff. Man from Atlantis, I think
Patrick
that
Duffy.
was, yeah, I think
I
that
think that was
probably,
79.
um,
Have to
animated
look it
one
up.
was in 75. There you go.
Wow,
Boom,
really?
boom. Yeah.
Then the
So,
Star Trek
yeah,
animated one at the
animated
same time.
Star Trek animated, which was great.
Looked like same made by the same company.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Did you show my pictures?
Not
My
yet.
you did, right? Yeah.
What?
Okay.
What?
So, the ones of the
No, we haven't done that yet. It's right here.
the whole adjust. There we go. So yeah. So I was just kind of we got on I got on a flight with my son. He had seen Superman, and he did watch some of, the Super Friends stuff. And so we flew out to Cincinnati, and it was right from the airport, went right to Cincinnati Union Terminal, and we got a heck of a tour, and it's incredible, guys. I highly recommend. It was so much fun. So that picture, the actual picture of, the Hall of Justice, is framed, and it's there. It's inside the building. When you walk around, you get, if you do the tour, there's a tour given by volunteers, and it was there. And that's one of the reasons that, I wanted to go. But since Superman came up, and we are who we are, we got on, and so it was just incredible. We had such a great time. The building is, Art Deco, and it was used not only in the Super Friends, but it was used, and then it went from Super Friends into the comic books, and then it was referenced and then used in, other various productions. But it really is.
What's the idol on the right hand side there? What's the
So
It looks
there's two.
Egyptian.
One to well, they're Art Deco. One has to do with transportation,
Uh,
and the other one has to do. So there's one on the left, one on the right, and one has to do with transportation. The other one has to do with commerce.
hmm.
And this was a real big hub during World War II, moving troops around, and all military personnel, wherever they were going to be going, they would end up, almost inevitably would end up at the Cincinnati Union Terminal. There was a big USO presence there, and so they would get their orders. They would report here. Then they would be told from Union Terminal where they were heading, and once they got to that destination, then they'd board whatever other transportation to get to the area of operation. So the exact area of operation, they informed us, was kept secret.
Right,
So
right.
it was like first thing was you get the Union Terminal, and then from Union Terminal they give you the next leg of where you're headed, and then once you're in transit, then they tell you where your area of operation was going to be. So, oh, the other thing was interesting that their families would actually ride with them to the Union Terminal,
Huh.
and so yeah, USO would actually put everybody up because that might be the last time that they see their loved ones because they were going to go straight into battle. So I thought that was kind of cool. But you see where the American flag was hanging?
Yeah.
That's a you can go up that level, but only if you take the tour. And so we took the tour, and so we were up there, and it was so cool, man. I mean, we saw some really cool stuff, and they did mention, that a Superman had rented out the entire building and all the area that's around the building, right? Because it's pretty big, and so they use that to do all their filmings for I think it was 3 or 4 days, and nobody could get in because security was that tight. It was
Hmm.
interesting. Nobody. There was only one person. They said the head of security for the terminal today was able to. He was there representing while they filmed. No one else was allowed to
I
come
didn't want it
in.
leaking out, I guess.
Yeah, no leaking. Yeah, so it was really, really cool. And I did put up some pictures, guys. So if you want to see more, you can check it out. And
I'm
but
sorry. I just keep thinking Gleek and freaking Wonder Twins.
yeah, the Wonder Twins. That's right. Yep.
Ah.
Yeah, I know, I know, I know. But hey, it was the Super Friends, and remember, there were different shows, right? So the Super Friends kind of they evolved, and so the Wonder Twins were part of it, and then they changed it, and there was others, and yeah,
Aquaman, Spider Man.
no, not
Spider Man
Spider-Man,
wasn't going. It was
no,
not
no Spider-Man,
Green Lantern. That's it.
Green Lantern, yep, yeah, they had a bunch. It was so cool, man. We had a really good time.
Hawkman.
Uh, yeah, Hawkman, that's
Remember
right.
Hawkman there?
Yeah. Remember the Super Friends? That's right, Erica. We had a really, really cool upbringing. I would sneak down to the TV on Saturday morning to watch all the cartoons and all that stuff. And I remember
Get a
that.
bowl of cereal
Yep, bowl
and
of
sit
cereal. That's
down.
right.
Yep.
Yep, that's what it was. That's
Four
how it was
hours
like.
later. Yeah.
Yeah. Wonder Twin powers activate, and one
Yeah.
of them was like the form
Form
of
of
ice. It
a
was like
bald eagle, and the other one was shape
ice.
of water.
Yeah,
I'm like, what?
shape of ice crowbar or something
Yeah.
stupid like that. Yo, Baz, you gotta go to a convention, man. Come on, unbelievable. Apache Chief, that's
Oh,
right.
I don't remember that one, but wow,
He would
that
turn it
wouldn't
into
go over
like he'd
today.
become like a 5 story. He'd become
Oh
like
yeah,
this
yeah, now I
so
remember.
big. It was so cool. Live action stuff. Space Academy with Jonathan Harris. That's right. Professor Patton. Yes. Yep. That's right. Space Academy.
Shazam and
Oh, there
ISIS. I
was
remember that one. There was
oh
another one.
Shazam.
I don't know if anybody
Yeah.
else out there remembers it, but it was on Saturday mornings. It was with a German Shepherd, and it was a military thing. It was called Run Joe Run. You don't hear anything about that one. It's just kind of
No.
gone.
No.
But I remember
Yeah.
the ISIS and
Oh yeah.
Shazam hour, Power Hour. I think it's the was.
There was so much cool stuff, which is, I guess you could still watch a lot of that stuff on YouTube,
Hmm.
fortunately, because otherwise there's no
Some
more,
of you
man.
can't even probably find it on DVD anymore.
No,
So
yeah, no, not at
CD,
all.
DVD.
So look, I mean, Dragon Con is the big to do. San Diego already happened. October is going to be New York
Excuse me.
Comic Con, and then there's Chiller Theater Expo.
That's
So
coming up soon.
that's coming up in October,
Yep.
and we'll see. So you guys that are paying attention, I want to just
The
quickly bring up the
power
fact
is
that the
yours.
Stranded Warrior is has won we did a tally of all the awards. So the Stranded Warrior has won 17 awards. That includes the film, the trailer, and the poster. An international competition and film festivals, domestic and international, and we have been selected and broadcast, right? Selected and screened rather in 18 different film festivals between 2024, 2025. We're still in competition in a couple of others, so we'll
What
let you know as soon
would
as
be
we
kind of
hear
interesting to
anything.
find. Remember, list how many countries we've shared
Oh, you
Battlestar
know what?
Galactica with.
Yeah, I never thought of that. Like, Sweden and India, UK and Canada, and like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what? We have to
India.
do that. Yeah. So, yeah, yeah, I will do that. That's a good one because we know that the Stranded Warrior and now Battlestar Galactica has now been in one form or another brought to audiences around the world that they don't know what Battlestar is, and the Stranded Warrior has been able to get the word out. So we're very proud of that, and of course, thank you everyone that supported and helped, all of you out there and everybody. So just stay tuned. uh, Soon it'll be made public, but remember, a film festival doesn't want to consider your project if it's on YouTube. It's like, why would they want,
Right.
to put it in their festival if everybody can just go to, YouTube and watch it? So just be a little patient, a little bit more. The trailer, of course, hopefully you've all seen the trailer. It's out there, and that's an award-winning trailer. So we're doing really well. Our other projects, the Tower Protocol Resurrection, we're starting the word is starting to trickle back. We've gotten 2 awards. I hope you guys saw the new poster, right, Tipsy? We got the
Hmm.
new poster was released, and it got picked up right away. So we got an award for that, and we've also gotten an award for the trailer on the Tower Protocol Resurrection. Um,
I'm just hoping that Diana gets the. Yeah, she got
gets the
nominated, so she gets
Yeah,
it.
yeah, she got nominated for Best Actress in The Stranded Warrior. So hopefully that'll go through. So it's pivotal. So the end of August, but basically in September we'll be hearing back from almost a dozen different film festivals, and we're expecting all good stuff. And then we'll let you guys know. And maybe for some of the domestic ones, maybe you'll be able to go and screen if you're living near to where they're happening. So we're holding back on committing to the comic book sci-fi conventions. So if we do that, we can't do both. We can't do the festivals and the cons. So if we get into the festivals, we're going to prioritize because we want to push Battlestar and projects. So that's kind of where we're at,
We get
right?
North Carolina Comic Con is November 8th and 9th in Durham. Huh.
Oh, North Carolina Comic Con, November 8th to
Not
9,
that
and
far from me.
excellent. Okay. Yeah, it's not. And you have there's a couple of conventions coming up around you, including Awesome Con,
Yep. Oh,
which
when's
is
that
a
one? That's in
big one.
March, right? No,
That's one that
we
we've been
always go
going to
to.
that
Yeah.
for a while. Yeah. The Power of Grayskull. That's right. That's right. Power of Grayskull.
Well, which one? The one with the yellow or the not the yellow, the blob wasn't it? The
The
Herculoids
Herculoids? Yeah, the Herculoids. But the
and
Herculoids, were
Shmoo.
they
Shmoo was part of
yeah,
not the
but I don't
Herculoids.
know.
That was
Herculoids, were they? I don't know if they were they the animated series? Let's see. I'm getting a date. No.
He-Man and She-Ra.
The hell are they talking about? The Herculoids. I'm 1967?
Really?
What?
It's before I.
Come on. No way.
Hmm.
Is an American Saturday morning animated television series produced by Hanna-Barbera, created and designed by Alex Toth. The show debuted September 9th, 1967 on CBS. 18 episodes from 68 to 69. Oh, 11 new episodes were produced in 1981 as
Hmm.
part of the Space Stars show. There you go.
Was Space
Shmoo
Ghost at
wasn't
the
part
same
of
time then?
possible. I didn't see I'm still
Space
trying to
Ghost.
Ghost. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that it came out at 67.
And that would have been
Uh
if it's the same time frame, then it would have been Blue Falcon and Dynamite.
oh, that's right. That's right. However, we have uh, our Star Wars update. Mr. Chris Feehan
We
is
have a lot
waiting
of
in
Star
the.
Wars tonight, by the way.
Yeah, we do. But Chris is here, man. Let's get him up because everybody's been waiting for it.
Uno momento, por
All
favore.
right. Okay. Okay. Cool.
He
Very
just
cool.
popped in, so
Yeah. 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 So we're just going over some of like, the cool 70s stuff and find out that the Herculoids were not from the 70s, but actually from the late 60s. What's the other one? Thundar the Barbarian. That's one of my favorites
was
too.
that the one with Shmoo? I can't remember which one Shmoo is.
No, he's not Shmoo. Space Ghost, voiced by Gary Owens, the voice of Psy in Return of Starbuck. Oh, ho, ho! Land
Oh,
what? Land of the Giants. That's right. It's a good one, Baz. Absolutely. 67 was a great year. The year I was born. That's right. There you go, mediocre. Okay. Giving it up, man. That's great. What else?
you
There's
old
some
people.
really. Yeah, we are. A little bit. A little bit. Just a little. Yes, He-Man and She-Ra, that's right. Shmoo wasn't part of Hercules. Somebody tell us where Shmoo was from. I don't know what the heck that's from. Where'd you get that from? Did you just make that up?
No, it's the little white globby thing.
Oh, come on.
Which one
Let's
was the
see.
Zero? The Zero was
There were
part of
two
it.
Shmoos-like characters on Herculoids, but
Huh.
they weren't. I don't know what that. Okay, yeah.
Shmoo was a character. I don't know which
Eh.
one it is.
Land of the Giants was 68 to 70. There's Professor Patton giving us the this. Oh, the Flintstones, circa fall 79 NBC Saturday mornings with The Thing. Hmm. A revamped Flintstones.
Hmm.
Yes, I do remember that.
All right, we're ready to roll
So
now.
let's do it. All right. And here he is. Chris, welcome back to IFB. How are you, sir?
How you guys doing?
Good. How are
Smart
you?
looking haircut too, by the way.
Doing good, doing good.
Is that like a movie related haircut that you got? Tell me you're in another movie.
No, no. I actually am stuck on jury duty for the next 3 weeks and
Oh
on a
boy.
case which I can't discuss, but I figured I better get a haircut now because I might not have a chance for the next month.
Oh boy. Star Wars is busy, man. There's a lot of talk. What do you
I,
got for us?
I have so much for you. It's unbelievable. A lot of big announcements, not during the normal cycles. We expected a lot at Celebration. We went over that last time, and there was a lot, including the Maul series, Ahsoka season 2, and some other great Star Wars news, including the Starfighter going ahead at light speed pace, unbelievable pace. It's already starting filming today. They just announced on
Wow.
StarWars.com, shared the first set image with Ryan Gosling and the young actor who's going to be the child actor in the movie Flynn Gray.
Ooh.
And people just went crazy like, this is actually happening. It's actually already in production. It's
What's
starting production
Flynn Gray?
immediately. So,
Wow.
man, did they fast track that movie? As we discussed last time, Sean Levy is directing it. Sean Levy had just come off doing Deadpool and Wolverine. So they snatched him up, got him involved in the Star Wars project, um, and are going at a breakneck pace. It's unbelievable how quickly that this, came to pass and this got together. We announced last time they did announce that Ryan Gosling was going to be in it and that Mia Goth was going to be some part, possibly a villain role. They now just announced just this week that Matt Smith, one of the Doctor Who's and who's in the new
Yeah.
Been Caught Stealing movie, is going to be another villain in the movie. They
Wow.
announced. They also announced the full cast list, which includes, and I have to just read it off because I can't remember all the names. Pierre, Simon Bird, Jamal Westman, Daniel Igus, and Amy Adams, another
Wow.
familiar name. So this is going to have an all-star cast. It's being executive produced by Ryan Gosling himself. So they're really going full speed ahead with this, and it's already started filming as of today's date. So unbelievable news with that movie Starfighter. Probably not going to debut until 2027. But
Wow.
next year we can look forward to Mandalorian and Grogu. The past few weeks there's been some leak footage from that movie that you can look up if you're smart and look around the internet. I don't have any specific links on hand right now, but if you look for the leaked footage from Celebration, some of that footage has leaked out. And there was a very interesting scene that was shown at Celebration involving the Mandalorian taking out a AT-AT walker and
Ooh.
just ripping through a bunch of snow troopers, and then him going back and reporting to Sigourney Weaver what happened, and her saying, "Wasn't that a little heavy-handed?" Looks incredible. Looks absolutely action-packed. Looks incredible. We only got that small glimpse, and also him walking with Zeb, who's one of the characters from Rebels, who wasn't seen in the Ahsoka series. So I'm happy that he's going to play a part in the Mandalorian movie. And from what we understand, since this is going to tie directly into the other series that they have on Disney Plus, we can expect to see some possible crossover with Ahsoka at some point, either in the Ahsoka season 2 or possibly actually in the movie Mandalorian and Grogu. That's not coming out till next May, so that will be the next movie that comes out. But we already know that the next year we're going to have this Starfighter on the horizon. So it's very exciting news that this is actually moving ahead and it's going full force at this point.
Wow. So
So unbelievable. Everybody was just like, I've never seen anything move at this kind of pace. This is fast even for Hollywood.
I also picked up something. There was some chatter about going back to theaters, releasing these, the products, the films, and the franchise is going to go back to movie releases, like theater releases.
Absolutely. There's been some chatter about for the 50th anniversary next year for them to do something special. Actually, I'm sorry, not next year, in 2027, and re-releasing the movies, and they're even entertaining re-releasing the unmolested versions.
Ooh.
Just toured with them. I don't think that's ever going to happen. They did allow it in one special circumstance a few months ago. They showed it in Britain at a film fundraiser, and they got permission from Lucasfilm, which we were very surprised. They had a restored version of the original 35 millimeter print.
Oh, wow.
That they showed at a special charity screening in England.
Wow.
I don't know if we're going to see something on that scale, but I would see them re-releasing all the movies at some point to get ready and gear up for the 50th anniversary in 2027.
Wow, that's
So
really
we'll
cool.
have to see what happens and see what they do with that. But I think the focus next year for Lucasfilm is going to be on Mandalorian and probably Ahsoka season 2, which we do expect late in 2026. So that's already begun production. That's going full force ahead. So we'll have to see what happens. There's also been some other rumblings about something that's really not forward facing with Star Wars, but what's happening in the background. As we mentioned, we know that Kathleen Kennedy is going to be retiring, possibly as soon as October. And there's still that question of who's going to succeed her and who's going to take up the mantle. The fan favorite is, of course, Dave Filoni, who's, been responsible for the Clone Wars, been creative person on both Ahsoka and on Mandalorian. He would be the logical choice, but he is going to be producing a movie as well. They may not want to take his focus off that ball and going forward with his movie that is still unannounced and still the details are sketchy exactly what he's going to do in his movie. But the other name that's come up is a woman named Carrie Beck, who's been a producer on Ahsoka, who also produced a lot of the Clone Wars. She's probably the best pick because she's been only in a producer capacity. She's overseen a lot of the projects and series that have gone on behind the scenes with Star Wars. She may be the choice that they pick. So right now, from insiders is saying it's a toss-up right now between Carrie Beck and Dave Filoni. I would think that Carrie Beck would be the logical choice just because she's more of a production person and not as hands-on a director, creative type person. So we'll have to see what happens and hope that the direction of Lucasfilm continues in a positive direction. I think we've seen this year some very good stuff come out of Disney, including Andor season 2. We'll have to hope that it keeps on that path and they keep on a steady path going forward. I truly enjoyed Ahsoka. I truly enjoyed all the Mandalorian. Was hot or cold with the Book of Boba Fett, and I really was not a fan of the Acolyte. I thought that was a disappointment. But, we'll see what happens. And Skeleton Crew. I'm forgetting one of the whole series that came out. Skeleton Crew I actually liked very much, but I don't think it had enough legs. and I think it was coming off the bad press and the bad reactions to Acolyte
Yeah.
that it didn't really find its footing, unfortunately. And it was kind of a tweenish kind of show.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I thought it was Goonies-esque, and I thought it
Yeah,
was
I did
didn't
too.
pull
I
any
liked it
punches.
too.
I didn't think
Yeah.
it pulled any punches with the violence. I think not that I'm a glutton for violence, but it was action-packed enough,
Mm-hmm.
and the kids were in enough peril for me to care about, what was
Yeah.
going on and what was happening in the series. So I thought that was disappointing, but I think we can look forward to seeing an Ahsoka season 2, and then this Mandalorian jump, and now this new movie, which is just an incredible dose of Star Wars to look forward to in the coming year. Um, Also, there was a big announcement that I forgot to mention that was announced right on the day that we had the last podcast meeting, but that Spaceballs 2, The
Yes.
Schwartz Awakens, is also on the horizon,
Oh yeah.
and that most of the cast so far is going to be back, including Bill Pullman. They just announced, his name's escaping me right now, um, Bill Pullman's son is
Okay.
also going to play a part in it, and he's a great actor who was just featured in the Thunderbolts. So we can expect Mel Brooks to do it again and do some goofy ass version of Star Wars that most fans are going to
Fantastic stuff.
cringe. They're going to cringe to, but laugh anyway, just because it's so stupid and funny. I love Mel Brooks. I love Spaceballs. I think it's actually a complete classic. And it was, what if a non-Star Wars fan made a Star Wars parody, which is pretty much what all Mel Brooks movies are, which are just
Right.
even more hilarious. So I'm eagerly awaiting that. They also announced that Rick Moranis was going to play a part, and he's been
Oh
fired from acting for a good decade.
yeah,
So for
absolutely.
him to come
Wow.
back, Mel Brooks must have really convinced him, hey, we really need you for this, and without you, it's not happening. So he is coming back, and that's very exciting because they couldn't even get him back for Ghostbusters, but to have him come back for Spaceballs is just incredible.
That's awesome.
That's another very fun thing to look forward to next year with Spaceballs 2 coming out. As I mentioned last time, just a little other information about Star Wars. There is going to be a celebration, a next celebration in 2027, April 1st to the 4th, and it's going to be at Los Angeles Convention Center. So that was a big announcement at Celebration. So if you can look forward to that in 2027. If you haven't seen it already, Light and Magic Season 2 is currently airing on Disney Plus. Great documentary series. The first one tackled the original Star Wars. The new one is tackling all the prequel series, and specifically the Phantom Menace production. And it's a very in-depth look at Lucasfilm and how they were breaking barriers and advancing computer technology to the point where the Phantom Menace was actually possible in George's eyes to actually be produced. I watched the first 2 episodes so far. It's very, very engaging, very informative. Not just about Star Wars, it's all about Lucasfilm as a whole and the strides they were making and what we have to thank them for some of the current movie technologies that we have today. So very interesting series. So please check it out if you haven't checked it out already. Also with Andor, they're releasing a audio track on Andor that you can listen to some commentary that's just been added to the Andor that's showing on Disney Plus. And I'm expecting that they are going to announce, if they haven't already, an Andor a season 2 box set that
Oh,
will also include that commentary. So keep on the lookout for that as well.
cool.
That's about it. Big news with Star Wars. Nothing else big really happening. But that Starfighter news was just something to hold on to and something to cling on to, and that we know that there is new productions coming out and there is something on the horizon beyond Starfighter. The other productions, still a mystery. They're keeping them very close to the vest. They may fall apart. The Rey movie may still be moving ahead, but none of them could, I guess, beat having a big name like Ryan Gosling and the director Sean Levy attached, getting a movie fast-tracked like the Starfighter movie. It was just, I've honestly never seen anything like that before with Star Wars or with really any other movie production being so fast-tracked within Hollywood. It's just incredible.
Well, Chris, thank you. Thank you for your updates. I hope that the 501st and the Empire City Garrison continues on with their charity work and all the great stuff that you're doing. I'm not sure if you're aware that in our green room, Roger Christian Academy Award winner that worked on Star Wars and is has made some really cool, has been involved in some really cool iconic parts of props and otherwise, and set decorating and things for the original Star Wars A New Hope, and from 1977. And he's with us, and we're going to get into
I'm
some
very
of
excited
those
to hear
things.
from him. I know his work on Star Wars, his work on Alien.
Yep,
Unbelievable gentleman. I'm very excited, and his work as a director. He's also directed a few
absolutely.
movies, so very excited to hear from him.
Yep. So, thank you very, very much, Chris. We always love getting your updates. We look forward to the next one, and keep us in the loop if there's anything we can do to help with your charity work or getting the word out with for the 501 ECG. You know what to do.
Well, again, hopefully I'll get to see you at New York Comic Con in October. That's our next big major event for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And if you need any more information about the 501st, 501st.com, and the 501st in the New York area, 501ecg.com.
Thanks again,
And
Chris.
again, thank you guys so much for all your help with MiniCon. It was a huge success for the Cerebral Palsy Association.
Yeah, we can't wait for next year.
Our
So
pleasure.
Thanks for
we got
supporting it.
bigger
And I
plans
still
for
can't
next year.
believe, Chris, that you won the Vader. I can't believe it.
It's no longer in my possession. I'll put it that way.
I know. You couldn't fit it, but still, I was very happy that somebody won it from our crew.
Thank you, Chris. Till next time.
See you
Stay
later.
well. Fans
Bye.
fuel the fleet.
Thank you.
So we are very, very lucky to have our
Wow,
next
super
guest.
lucky.
Oh my God. Thank you for, waiting in the green room, and we appreciate your patience. Roger Christian is here, and we're gonna take a
You ready?
deep dive into career, talk about, all the things that he's been up to, and find out where
Find
he's
a
at in terms of what he's doing now, of anything. And I know that there was a book out there as well, and so I want to let's
Yep,
get him
yep.
on, man.
Here you go. And we're launching now.
And boom, Roger, welcome to IFB. Thank you for taking the time out to join us.
Not at all. Thank you for having me. And I'm sorry I'm late, but we had a plumbing leak which was
Now,
going in
Oh,
the
yuck.
basement. It was down clearing up.
oh, not at
Oh,
all. Not at all.
Yes.
We've all had those battles. I
Yeah.
know exactly your pain.
Bad
Um,
timing.
no,
There we are.
hey, it's good. We're glad that you're here.
Thank
Thank you
you.
again. We obviously just had a pretty good, I think, lead up with having the 501st here, and being that you have a tremendous link and history with the Star Wars franchise. Tell us about how you got into the business.
I met George in Mexico. We were I was with John Barry, the designer, making a movie called Lucky Lady. And when Fox agreed to finance Star Wars, estimating it would make $12 million, they said, if you can make your movie for four, George, we'll finance it. And Gloria Willard Hike wrote American Graffiti, and they were helping George with some dialogue for Star Wars. And they said, you better go and meet John and Roger, because Gary Kurtz had found out that we were half the price in Britain. So the $8 million budget he had, we could do in Britain for four. Plus we had stages empty, which they weren't in LA. So George flew down, and lucky lady, we were converting old Mexican buildings into rum running sets. And George arrived, and I was building a salt factory, which at those days salt was pretty valuable, and it was an action sequence, and I was converting this whole old building. George came across, kind of said, look, I'm gonna, what I'm wanting to make is a science fiction movie. So I'm being very honest. I said, George, I've honestly never connected to a science fiction movie. I love science fiction literature, but I never believe any of them that I've seen. They're all over designed and guns don't work, they're beeping and stuff. And George said, well, I'm trying to make a spaghetti Western in space. And he didn't have to say any more to me because I hero worship Kurosawa. And of course, Sergio Leone converted his samurai movies into great Westerns, I think, that were made very, very low budget. So, and I said to him, for me, a spaceship would be greasy and oily and repaired and kept going by the owner. And of course, little did I know that when I read the script later in August, that I described the Millennium Falcon absolutely perfectly.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, John was the first person hired on Star Wars, and then Jeffrey Unsworth, who was the DP, who sadly couldn't do it. And then I was the third person. We kicked it off and went to London. We were told to be there on August the 1st, and Fox weren't putting up the money. Gary was still trying to get the budget down. And so with some money that George was owed from American Graffiti, we set up a tiny studios for 4 months, and it was just John Barry, myself, another art director, and George and Gary. And we kind of set about forming a relationship, and John Barry immediately recognized that the biggest problem was R2-D2, because he was only 4 feet, and if we couldn't make him work, there was no movie. We knew we could make C-3PO. Metropolis had Maria, and we knew like 40 years later we could make him walk around where they couldn't do that. So I had worked with Monty Python, and I knew their carpenter who built all the sets for them, Bill Harmon. So I got him on board without pay, and we kind of made George hire somebody, and he found Kenny Baker, who was 3'8". And of course, then Robert Watts was around, and we said, Robert, we need some money. He said, there's no money. I'm sorry, you got to do this yourself. So Bill Harmon had some wood in the garage. So he brought that in, and we built a wooden mock-up. And then he said, Roger, I can't do the top. I went to a scrapyard, which was the lighting company, and found a lamp top on the scrap heap, which exactly fitted.
Wow.
So that became the top. And then he said, I can't make the little arms on the front. So Bill sent me home with a penknife, a bit of wood, and I carved the little front. And I grabbed some bits of old junk because I thought, we're going to show George this wooden mock-up. I'll stick a few things in it, try and make it a little bit more like the Ralph McQuarrie painting, because that's all we had to go on. And I'd stuck in those lighting from a Dakota, I think it is, which are still there to this day. I stuck those in, stuck some grids on, and Kenny could not move this thing. So we got his boots and stapled them inside the bottom of the legs. He still couldn't move it. And I don't know why, I picked up a fighter pilot's harness in this group of junk that I'd brought in. And Bill stapled it inside, and Kenny could take the weight. He could wear R2-D2, our wooden one, like a rucksack. And he took 3 steps before he fell over. And that's probably the most auspicious moment on Star Wars, because we knew then we could make the movie.
Wow. You gotta share the lightsaber story, if you would.
I will. So it comes out of me having an intense kind of disbelief in any weapons, and also my wanting to make everything used and old and dented. So that was the world, and that was what George wanted. So we were in exactly the same frame of mind on that. And I'd suggested, because when I saw my budget, it was like I knew I couldn't do anything. I couldn't make anything in the workshops. So with weapons, I thought if I rent guns from the gun hire place, stick a few bits on them and change them, they can go back at the end of the shoot, and so they're cheap. It was only a rental cost, and all of that kind of built up with me getting scrap from airplane junkyards. I bought truckloads of it to make the sets out of, and no one wanted it. There were Rolls-Royce Merlin jet engines in the rain. I mean, just lying abandoned. No one wanted this stuff, and I honestly don't think I spent more than £50, and I bought, I think, 10 or 12 Derwent Rolls-Royce engines. I bought all this airplane scrap. So the kind of idea of finding things only would work for this whole movie. I knew I couldn't make anything. And you have to understand as well. I mean, I was like a student, and George, at that time. And it kind of sums up when I told the property master who ran the studio to clear out his prop room. There were no curtains, there were no furniture. We cleared it out, and he was standing next to me the day that the low loader had rope on, like mountain of airplane junk. I mean, it looked like scrapyard, and jet engines on it, everything. This thing was backing it, and the property master, Frank Bruton, next to me, didn't look at me. He just said, "You know, you're mad, boy." He called me boy.
Wow.
We were so young, and I thought, yeah, well, I'm taking a huge risk, because I convinced everybody I could make this film work by, getting guns and converting them to space guns, and getting airplane junk to make the Millennium Falcon out of. And I'd kind of convinced everybody, but I hadn't actually done it yet. But he went along with it anyway, Frank, bless him. And so what I did, I was sticking things together, and I had my buyer who the film triggered in January. They finally gave us the money, Fox, and that's when all the crew came on board and everybody. So my buyer, I just told him to go and get me broken cameras, broken calculators. I bought masses of drain piping, everything. And I kept looking around for objects that I thought I could make into props for the film. And the major one was the lightsaber, which I couldn't find anything that matched my idea of what it should be like. And I found 3 camera parts, a still camera and an old UMIG motion, small 16mm camera, and another part, and I'd stuck them together with super glue. That was my office kit, was super glue. And I created Luke's binoculars, and I decided to make the little bit more apparent what they were for the audience. I would go and buy 2 cheap camera lenses. So I went to our camera hire place that I always went to, and I got my lenses, and then I said to him, do you have anything that I've got to make this weapon, like a sword of the future? And David French, the manager, said, well, have a look under there. And there were a pile of boxes, and I pulled them out. I honestly don't think they'd been opened in years. And in the first box were 3 Graflex handles. And it was like my holy grail moment. I went, wow, this is beautiful, because you can't tell what it was for. No one would know it's a battery pack for a press camera. Had a nice red button and a glass button, and I thought, this is it. So I got all 3 of them, raced back to the studio, and first weapon I ever made on Star Wars, I took a Sterling submachine gun, and I stuck some T-strip round the barrel to change it a bit, and I put those sights on the top. I stuck the first ones all together with super glue, and then the armorer made them safe for shooting. And so I thought, well, if I make a handle, that'll be more like it was then called a laser sword. It got changed a bit later to lightsaber. I stuck that round it, and I didn't like the clip. And I've got here. So I didn't like the clip,
Ooh.
and how does it go this way? So I'd taken apart a Texas Instrument calculator, and this bubble strip magnified the numbers and it illuminated them. And so I thought, oh, that fits perfectly. So that would give it, because it has to be a mystical object. It can't be handmade. And this is like something that a Jedi could relate to somehow with the Force. So that was it. I called George over and said, I think I found a lightsaber. And he came and smiled, and that was it. That went into the film.
Wow. That's incredible.
It's all, the whole thing was done like this. I mean, it puts it in perspective. I was in John Barry's office. We were shooting, right? One of the things that wasn't required was a comlink, the little link that they used between when he was in the garbage room. And John was trying to work out how to do a set, and he was doing a lot of them out of my junk and pieces. And he asked me to bring some plumbing bits to the office. So I brought some plumbing stuff, and I'm there with him, and I had a U-bend that goes under the sink. And the phone rang, and then John took the message, and then he said, Roger, that George has changed his mind. He needs a comlink now on the stage. And as he said it, as I unscrewed the comlink, unscrewed the pipe, a filter dropped into my hand. And I went, oh, look at that. There's a comlink. That's exactly perfectly suits it. So I went straight down to the floor, went in George's hand. He smiled and put it in the stormtrooper's hand.
Wow.
These stories are representative of how the whole thing was made, honestly, with so little money and so little belief. And the crew didn't believe us. There was John Barry and I and Les Diddy stuck by George against really a crew who just thought we were making a pile of rubbish that no one would ever see. It was never going to get on the big screen.
What was your reaction when you finally saw, the movie in its entirety?
Well, it was interesting because, and it's better known now, and I've come out with a bit of it, George, that I mean, there was a revolution led by the director of photography who was awful. From the first shot to George, who was awful to him, and liaised only, it was Gary Kurtz liaised between them. And he led a revolution that the editor joined with him, and then he eventually got fired. The special effects went with them, and they were all like, and they called Alan Ladd had to come over because the complaints, really came to fire George off his own movie. And so this went right through, and I mean, everyone knows George got put in hospital. They thought he had a heart attack at the end. It was pure stress. I mean, just trying to put this thing through with no money and a crew kind of not liking him, apart from the five of us who really stuck by him. And we were friends of George, and I loved making this film. This was my dream of how a science fiction movie should be. So the crew screening was in the Dominion Leicester Square, beautiful theatre. We were all in there with this crew who probably were waiting to laugh. And, this was Britain in the 77. And they were a very supercilious lot then. The American culture was not regarded at all in Britain. So they were all in there, I think, to come in and mock and laugh. And honestly, the moment that ship came overhead, I just felt the entire auditorium kind of rose up. The atmosphere came. And of course, we're leaving, and all these people who are condemning us were going, oh, didn't we do a great job? Wow, what a wonderful movie. Yeah, it was
Wow.
It was a just, we came out buzzing because I thought, wow, it worked. The Millennium Falcon looked like a real ship and felt like a real ship and flew like one, and the dogfights, everything. I mean, it just was, it changed cinema. There's no question. It changed science fiction, but it changed cinema.
Oh, absolutely it did. Everything that you're describing about, the props and, how these things ended up in the film are incredible, because I remember as a young person watching that film for the first time, and it was like, wow, it was just like mind blowing, because it was different. It wasn't Star Trek, and it was it was just something that, nobody had seen it done in that way, and it was like, this is definitely, it appealed to me. It resonated, and everything that went on, whether it was, they're in the you said they were in the pit, right? And they were the garbage disposal, and he pulls out the comlink, and he's like, C3PO, like, and it's like everything just had its moment, and it just seemed to all click, and to know what the background of where all these things came from and how you devise them is just incredible. And the audiences have become more sophisticated, and we know, a little bit more about how films are made, and we know a little bit about props, because we're that type of fans. But having someone like yourself describe it, were you, up until then, were you a science fiction fan?
Yes, huge. I mean, I read everything, and honestly, if I ever mentioned at a dinner party in England, if I was reading Arthur C. Clarke or somebody, it was the same derogatory put down. Oh, it's not Shakespeare, is it?
Wow.
I heard that so many times, and I used to say it is actually. It's just a different medium, but these guys are prophesying the future, and the writing. Look at now William Gibson. You have Frank Herbert.
Yep.
June I read over and over, and all of these, the Hobbits, all of this is not, at that time there was only classical literature, and that's all that mattered, and it was very British, and they were very proud of it. And science fiction was just never considered. And so again, this is one of the big changes that came about with Star Wars. See, what's interesting is George exactly did what's required to create the perfect myth. And I always liken this to most of the religions preach, and you don't get anywhere when you preach. Buddhism tells stories, and in those stories you understand subconsciously, you get a connection. So George, being mentored by Joseph Campbell, was able to make a ride on the surface, a fun ride that everyone could just go along with, but buried in there are the keys that connect to us as people. And in fact, that if you think about it, the Luke Skywalker is us. This is the saga of Luke Skywalker, the whole thing. And we never got the proper ending, but George knew what the proper ending was. And that's the wonderful story of Star Wars. It's the Luke Skywalker story. That relates to all of us. That's who we are. And it connected to a world, that has never happened before, and it's growing. We're now 4th generation, and it's growing. My son's 11. He's got
huge.
I don't know how many lightsabers in the room here. He's got, and not because of me. He only found out really later what I did. It was more that Star Wars is just into the global conscience now.
Yes.
And I wrote the book Cinema Alchemist because we were never, ever written about. They'd lost my interviews. David West Reynolds, when he was the head of literature at Fox, at Lucasfilm, couldn't find John Barry or my name anywhere. There was nothing. And he was doing the Star Wars dictionary saying, but who built this lightsaber? But how? And when I was directing second unit on Phantom Menace, I was at the picnic in July. This young kid came running to me. He said, "You're Roger Christian, aren't you?" And so he said, "You need to answer questions for me." And we became friends as I did great friends with John Rinsler, and he forced me to write the book because he said it's a legacy, you've got to do it.
Wow.
And so I took a year off and wrote in detail of how we made that film, the first one, because I think, especially now, everyone looks and sees big Hollywood movies and CGI and everything, but this all started with a kind of group of crazy revolutionaries. In fact, they just republished the book, and they said, "Can we get a new forward for it?" And we know George doesn't do anything; he hasn't for 10 years now. Do you think you could get? And I know Guillermo del Toro, and I knew he would do it. And then I thought, you know what? I've never really asked George or asked him for anything. So I asked, and he sent me the most beautiful forward for the book, and he even gave me a blurb for the front cover. So I'm endorsed fully now by George, and it's his forward says, way back in 75, 76, a crazy kid went to London with the idea of a crazy movie. And it kind of summed it up like that. But he does mention in there that one day I called him to the office and showed him a lightsaber made out of a camera part. And he said that Roger managed to make this film with no budget. But that was one of probably 15 things he did that day, which kind of summed it up. And that was, he wrote it all on his own. And what touched me at the end, he just says, more than that, he's still a very great friend. And that's what this is all about, you see.
Yes.
And with George, because we owe it all to him. So I'm out there publicizing the book because the publishers don't do anything. So I'm going to conventions and things. And I don't think out of all the ones in the last 2 years, every fan that comes to my table, I don't think there's one who hasn't said to me, Star Wars changed my life.
Right.
And I take it very seriously because it did. It gave people something to believe in. I think, especially America, he gave America something to believe in. And it's the very right message, good versus evil, all of these things. But I was writing something because I've just finished writing now the story of the lightsaber, because no one's done it. There's stuff behind it. Where did it come from? Where was the first ones? All of this. So I've put that together, and I realized something writing it, that what happened now in the last, I don't know how many years, most fans of the films would go to the shops and buy a prop or a ship or whatever. They're all, for the last year, searching out every single piece that I used, finding the real ones, making props themselves. And really, to me, this is wonderful because they're doing what I did, and they're probably finding talents they never knew they had. So, all of this world, I love this whole thing, and I embrace it, and I will continue doing that as well now.
Wow.
And we truly appreciate it. You have from our fandom there around the world, including Baz Builds. Baz from Australia built a 1-to-1 scale Mark II Viper from another franchise, Battlestar Galactica. So he knows what it's like to actually get out there and make things. Mediocre Modeler, another podcaster that builds models. He's also endeavored to make replicas as well from various Star Wars props. And so you have a lot of well wishes and greetings from a lot of the fans. They've been posting as we speak. We also put up a link to your book as well, so that anyone that is interested in acquiring it through Amazon, we have the link there for you guys to go in there. Roger, is there another convention that you might be doing in the future that we can get the word out, that we can meet you at?
I'm doing May the North Be With You. That's here in Canada. That's next. There is one, I don't know where it is. It's in December in America. Okay. I know I've been invited to. They haven't told me where it is. They just said it's a one day, but it's a big one. I was just at Rebel Scum.
Oh, excellent.
and just I had such a good time, and just the fans there are so kind, and you know, I was swamped, and I had it was great for me because Sam Whitner was there, and I managed to meet Sam because we'd never met, and that was really good. And I I was kind of overwhelmed with all of this. It's kind of love that comes, you know, and everything. And so I sold a lot of books, and I have a few DVDs that I'm making from the film, which will be the entire stories of everything that we ever did. It's a 2-hour 20 fan special. Guillermo del Toro's in that. He wanted to be in it because he's another one. He said when he was a wee lad, he calls it, he went to the cinema, didn't know what he was going to see, was so amazed, he went round 4 times. He saw every next performance 4 times and became a director because of it. And I have Carl Newman, who is Fanboys, who's in there, and very treasured for me, Gareth Edwards, who made Rogue One, which to me is the closest of the sequels to Star Wars that George might have made. So he goes right through my documentary when it's finished. He's the kind of head of chapters, and he's talking about Star Wars and the influences and all those things as well. So it's great fun. I have animated sequences in it, things.
Wow.
It's like the book on fire.
Excellent.
But the book itself, I really did as a mentoring. It's not like, look what I did. Oh, wow, look what I did. How great this is. It's more of a mentoring process for people. And that's the feedback is nonstop for me. That's the feedback I'm getting from everybody, that it's inspired them. I've had professors of film schools in America say, I've changed my whole curriculum now because of you.
Wow.
And I met one walking the dog yesterday here, and she said, I'd never met her before. And she said my name, and she said, do you want Roger Chris? I said, I've got your book. I said, really? And she said, yeah, I'm teaching film at one of our local film schools here in Canada.
Wow.
So, I think it's my duty now, because I'm the only one who knows the stories of what we did. John Barry was building the sets. I'm the one who had to go and get all the props and make the world of Tunisia look like Tatooine and aged, and you know, there's so many stories that I could be here for hours telling the stories, but they're mostly in Cinema Alchemist.
Well, that's fantastic. Roger, we before we go any further, we have one of our own executive producers here for Interfleet Broadcasting, Dr. Chris McAuley, and he's waiting in the green room, and he'd like to ask you a question or two. So,
Okay.
Doc, welcome back to IFB, and here you are with Roger.
Oh, I got him. Hang on.
Face. There
There we
we
go.
go. There we are. Hello, Roger.
Hi,
I'm fascinated with sort of early what I would term as sort of kitsch TV, right? So I've worked on Doctor Who and stuff like that. You
Yes.
worked on Jason King, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I set decorated Jason King. That was when I was trying to get in the film industry, I knew nobody. And I wrote letters, I tried to get in, I'd done art school. I had to do 2 years at architecture school because they said you're going to go in the art department. The first person I ever met who agreed to give me an interview was Charlie Bishop, who was the designer of Randall and Hopkirk, deceased. And they were just finishing that. He set me up with John Box, who was the designer of Oliver and Dr. Zhivago, which is the film that made me want to be in the work in cinema. And then Charlie took me on the next series he was doing, which was Jason King. It was great. And seeing Doctor Who scared the pants off me as a kid. Even the toilet plunger on his antenna.
Annihilate.
And
Exterminate.
he actually was the inspiration for putting Kenny inside R2D2, because we were all talking about it. And I said, well, in Doctor Who, they had little people inside walking around. And so actually, Doctor Who was kind of an inspiration for us.
Well, I've just grabbed your book. Your book. I'm going to be reading that probably tonight, actually. I'm
Oh,
probably going to give this a read tonight. But you've done some incredible work. Like Randall and Hopkirk Deceased is another one of my favorites. The classic series, one of my favorites as well. Um, there's another film actually that particularly interests me. It's Joseph and Mary.
yes,
I did see it, and I was quite surprised about how brutal the film was. The depiction of violence, which
yes,
I sort of hesitate to say this, but I thought it was not enjoyable from the violence sense, but the actual realism part of it. It brought some sort of realism to a mythic story, which I thought was particularly powerful. When you talk about, the Joseph Campbell experience, the monomyth, I think that ties in quite well. This
it
monomyth,
does.
this story that doesn't die. So this sort of a story of a special individual who goes on to challenge an empire and change the world. Um,
Yes.
I'm a particular student of Joseph Campbell. I love all his work and comparative mythology. So I was glad you brought that up
Thank you. But
with
that's
Star
another,
Wars.
see, Joseph and Mary, the producer wanted to direct. So he got two scripts done, Joseph and Mary and Peter, and he'd made a very low budget film in Malta. So I signed on. We're going to Malta to do the Holy Lands. And about 6 weeks before we were starting, I got a call. He said, could you come to North Bay? Now, North Bay is a northern city in Ontario that doesn't even have a Starbucks. Um, and so I'm going, what are we doing? And he said, just drive up here. And they gave him half the budget. So he said, we're going to do it in North Bay. And they'd found this old gravel pit. And I realized if I shot the right way, it looked like the Holy Lands. And there were some piles of old gravel that were pyramid shaped. And I managed to work it out. So I made that film. I crucified Jesus with -12 degrees and snow on the ground.
Oh my gosh.
Um, and with absolutely so little money, it was not, and I had to use everything I'd learned on Star Wars to pull this thing off because no one had ever told the story of Joseph.
Mm,
He's an enigma in the Bible everywhere. So, and I thought this man raised, one of the most important um, figures of history, and was obviously very, especially in those years, would have been the most influential on the child, the father.
mhm,
And Kevin Sorbo was wonderful in it. He's a kind of stoic, solid individual, and he just really suited that character for me. And I had a really good cast. And the film was made so low budget, I can't tell you. Um, but the writer put, the violence was in there, and I thought this is part of that world, really, that you know, you see it in the crucifixion. All the depictions you see are awful, what happens at that time. But the story itself of redemption and forgiveness was able to be told because of that violence. And that's the story of Star Wars, in Return of the Jedi, when Luke puts down the lightsaber, instead of killing the father, which is, there's two people there wanting to kill each other, he puts it down and he removes the mask, and we know that that's going to kill Darth Vader. But the look between them is a look of pure love, and that's
mm.
compassion and forgiveness. That's George speaking. That's him. That's what these movies are all about. And that, you're very correct. It was in Joseph and Mary. That's what it's about, forgiveness, the whole thing.
Yeah, I find all that those motifs powerful. I write about those quite a lot. Redemption.
Yes.
That and I think it's that redemption is a form of hope that helps us remove the cycle of violence.
Yes. Exactly.
So I write about a lot of that in my work. The other film that I'm particularly interested in, and I haven't seen it yet, is Prisoners of the Sun, because again, it's got this mythic quality to it. I've just been having a look at it, and it's it's a film that's set in Egypt. It just looks like a really good, fun sort of sci-fi horror film. That's one I'm going to
Yeah.
check out as well.
Yeah, it was done for that. Again, very low budget. These things to get these independent films made, there's so little money. That was brought to me by a producer, and the original script was just all over the place, and so they had me fast rewrite it. Um, and I got John Rhys Davis, and I had some great English actors in it. Um, and it was just a fun ride. There's nothing more than that. That's how you look at it. But it had a lot of, as you say, under the surface kind of hero's journey again. It's all about that, and how there are ancient mysteries that we don't really touch on unless you start to dig deeper and deeper into them. So
Sort of,
yeah,
it's almost like a motif that follows your work, like Nostradamus.
yeah.
All of
That's
this.
my
There's
favorite film.
Yeah, it's a brilliant film. I loved it. I wanted to jump on and just talk to you a little bit about that
Thank you.
because I saw that motif through your work, that there's something about the big figures of mythology,
Yes,
big figures in history. The
who are
um
all
yeah.
against the like if you it's the same as Star Wars. They're all against those big mighty, Nostradamus was alone against um the horrors that were going on at the time with the Inquisition
Hmm.
and the plague, and alone, and he was a revolutionary, and that the scenes in it of that's all true, that they were the first university to have dissecting cadavers, and where he was arguing with the professors that the body will heal itself. You just got to give it the time to do it. They were all sticking leeches on everybody and doing things and cutting them up. And he had to leave the university. He was hounded out. I like those figures, and I guess George to this day says there were only 5 people stood by his side on Star Wars, and I was included in that 5. And I think that's in life. I'm echoing the kind of somehow some of the dramas that I've been really impressed and tried to make. And they're not necessarily hugely commercial ones that I can go to Hollywood and get money for.
Well, Roger, we truly, truly appreciate you coming on our
Thank you.
show and sharing your stories. And we would like to have you come back. You mentioned writing more and doing more. Um, if you're prepared to make any announcements, if you have the time to come back for us, we would love to continue discussing your adventures and talking about more of where we can actually get to meet you and see you in the conventions. Hopefully you'll have more product for us as well, because it is worthy. So writing the book that you did and any of the other materials that you're doing, I would imagine that you see for yourself that it is a worthy a cause that you're taking on and leaving and sharing with us, all of that knowledge that it should have been done and should have
Yes.
been archived, but it isn't. But so when the time comes, please consider coming back to us. We would love to have
Anytime.
you.
Anytime. I'd love to be on. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you, Roger.
Thank
Fans
you.
fuel the fleet. You're one of the fans. I'm sorry, Chris, Tipsy, did you want to jump in real quick?
No, I think it's a fantastic opportunity that we've had here tonight to talk to someone of your caliber and someone who is truly an inventor and truly somebody who's helped us create these other worlds that we kind of lived in and we kind of go through. I just want to say thank you. You're an amazing individual, and you're very inspiring.
Thank you. Well, I go into it in the book a great deal of where all this came from, because there's obviously reasons for it all, and there's a lot of kind of, and that's all the part of finding yourself. Every student I meet, everybody, I tell them, you have to find your own voice. You have to find yourself, who you are, and follow it, because everybody will say don't. And we're all surrounded by naysayers, and I think
definitely.
And George kind of gave that possibility. It's like, as I said, every single convention I'm going to, there are families, and I just embrace it, because it's not so easy nowadays communicating between parents and children. It's getting harder with internets and games and iPads and Nintendos and everything.
Yeah.
And so to see so many families come together, I keep saying, well, see, George got it right. This is what he did. He made films for families when nobody else was.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's a wonderful world, and I'm kind of honored that I was part of it somehow, and now it's my duty to try to spread the word.
And thank you for your talent.
Roger, here's to you. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Sir.
That's what I
Cheers.
do now. I need a
Cheers,
cup of tea. Bye.
Sláinte.
Ah.
All right. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Awesome.
True fan. A true.
See, again,
yeah,
right?
True, somebody who is definitely there for the fans. Somebody who's created things, and once again, he's part of that major universe, that Star Wars universe.
Oh yeah.
It's that special. I want to say special recipe.
Yeah,
it
is.
That was all part of these people, and they got together and they believed, and like he was saying, there were some people who weren't even paid at some points in time. That's that's a true love. That's a drive that that makes it. And of course the storylines of his other movies, the things he's directed. So
we didn't even talk about Alien or any of the other stuff, man.
If so much more stuff to talk about.
We could get him back.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I think he's somebody that you can sit down and probably talk with for hours, just like anybody you can get a hold of. So.
Well, we got Doc McAuley still with us.
Yes, we do.
He's chilling by the TARDIS.
Find him again, but he's off.
Yeah,
to the left
in case. Here. Yeah, because I know sometimes he just flies off and then comes back. There he is.
He's off to the left. I got to pull him to the right.
What's up, Doc?
Oh, I'm all right. Yeah, it's just that guy. His work's absolutely fascinating.
Oh yeah, it's incredible, man.
Yeah, and I think what he's doing is Joseph Campbell talked about how you find your way is following your bliss, and that's what he's done. He's basically you can see the thread within that chap's work, and it's all mythology and mythic history, and it's all there.
Really
so
cool.
He's got a muse of some kind there that's speaking to him. So great.
Yep. You have a whole bunch of things going on. I mean, in between your adventures, you pack in so much, and in between your visits here on IFB, it's incredible. We've been working hard on some IPs, original IPs, and then there's also other IPs that you're working as well, and hopefully we can touch upon a lot of this tonight as a capstone to IFB and everything that we're working. So where do you want to begin?
Well, whatever you've got queued up, we can start there.
Well, we can try that. Let's go for that.
If we can start. So this is the cover to a kid's book that I've written with Claudia Christian called The Mother Tree. Nobody's seen this before, so there is an exclusive for you.
Exclusive.
So I wanted to show this before our names go on it because, it's a beautiful piece of artwork. So this is a book that came about. Claudia had a bit of a fever dream during a COVID bout years ago, and she had this vision of animals in a tree. So yeah, this is a nice one. It's a tale about looking after the environment and also animals having lots of fun. Uh, we are looking at this as an animation as well, an animation project, and it's also going to be composed into an orchestral piece that's happening at the minute. It's going to be on the various cities across states.
It's got that.
Cool.
It's got that. The look of it has got like of a. What was the Peter and the Rabbit? Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's sort of the Beatrix Potter style.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
very,
beautiful.
it's very soft. So there are many illustrations in the book. It's being published by Crystal Lake Kids, and there are many illustrations in the book,
It's
and
just
they're
beautiful.
all beautiful. So that's another piece of work that I'm doing. I'm also in Whotopia's magazine. It's a Canadian Doctor Who magazine.
Ooh.
So I discuss the latest series of Doctor Who with Ncuti Gatwa. So I'm in that as well this month. Nice printed book. Games Workshop gave me a
Warhammer.
few games to look at. Yep, so we've got the Warhammer stuff. So we've got Rogue Trader, which is out as a computer game, sort of RPG, CRPG. If you like Baldur's Gate and that sort of stuff, definitely check out Rogue Trader. Rogue Trader was actually the first Warhammer RPG ever to come out in the 80s. There's a screenshot from it. It's a fantastic game. It's an isometric tabletop role-playing game in the style of sort of Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, and there's a lot of decisions that you make in the game that affect the core storyline. We've got Dawn of War remastered, which came out last week. I was very privileged to get a review code from Games Workshop for this one. This is a game that's been remastered from 2004 and contains all of the Dawn of War games, the first batch. So that's, I think, Dawn of War, Winter Crusade, Soulstorm, and another one. So it's a nice sort of real-time strategy game. I think there's 9 factions in that one as well. This is the Dalek book, which I know, Pete, you're getting a copy of it.
Yes.
It'll be out next week, essentially. So there is an advanced. Some people could get an advanced copy, and Pete was
Mhm.
one of them. I got a copy today. It's beautiful. It's hardback, and it is an official Dalek book, and it contains lots of stories about the Daleks and the Draconian War and their war with the humans, as well as stories that fit in between various episodes of Doctor Who, classic Doctor Who and modern Doctor Who.
Cool.
Yeah, so Dark Legacy's comic book, Glenn Fabry, who most comic book fans will know. I mean, he was the illustrator for DC, he was the illustrator for Preacher, illustrator for 2000 AD, and illustrator for Dark Legacies. So he is doing a signing, and every comic book is going to be graded at this signing by an official
Oh,
grading
wow.
person from CGC, and the signature witnessing is going to be available as well. So there's a Manchester signing, and he's going to be signing the latest copy of Dark Legacies.
Wow.
So yeah, that's one of the covers of Dark Legacies. That's issue 3, a variant cover, and that is Claudia Christian and Nicola Bryant, who's Perry in Doctor Who. So that's their special cover together. And then this is the compendium edition cover. So this contains Dark Legacies issue 1 and 2. And it's very special because it's a wraparound cover and it has all the characters from Dark Legacy. So if you're a fan of Babylon 5 or Star Trek and Doctor Who, you want to get this cover because you can see the sort of the depictions are photorealistic. The back page of the cover also has Bill Mumy on the backs of
Ooh,
sci-fi legend Bill Mumy, who is he's one of the bad guys in
wow,
Dark
that's
Legacies.
cool.
So he brought him in as bad guy. I've had the I he wanted to be a bad guy actually. He wanted to be menacing the other characters. So that's been a lot of fun to write with him. So there's a nice wraparound cover that's available at the minute if you want to grab that. And I think b5events.com, which is run by Patricia Tellman, she's going to be offering a copy that will have all signatures of the cast members on it.
Wow, that's
So
cool.
this is my kids' graphic novel and novel series called Nexus Astrum. It is about basically a mech sort of anime manga mech story about an evil empire and a group of individuals that are trying to overthrow it with their mechs, and all sorts of things happen. I love these sort of stories. So this is very specifically for for young adults, and I can tell you that Netflix is looking at this one at the minute as a possible pickup.
Cool.
I think stories of revolution and fighting against evil empires are very important at the minute, and I'm sort of very drawn to that. And we have to talk about this one again. This is part one of our book series.
Hmm.
So yeah, Oddfellow Investigation, book one. It's out. It's got 5-star reviews across the board. This is a XG3 production. So all of us at IFB, Tipsy, George, Pete, myself, John one. We've all had a little hand in this project. Book two is being written next month, and we're hoping to get book two out by the end of the year. We are also looking at this one as potentially something that could become a television series or a movie, hopefully. Yeah, so Hellbound Books have asked me to start talking about my work with them a little bit. So we talked about science fiction. I was the editor and compiler of this science fiction book, and this leans very heavily into sort of retro sci-fi with a little splash of horror in there. I think I've edited and compiled uh, 14 books in the last 2 years. So this is one of the ones that Hellbound wanted me to talk about. I also did a Dracula's book with Buffy's Denise Ciancian, who was on our show at Halloween.
Hmm.
Um, let's see, which image is this? Oh, right, okay, yeah. So these are images from an upcoming tabletop role-playing game that I have written called When We Die. These are images from an artist called Jason Judah, coming out very soon. And this is quite a special role-playing game because it was written with various people from FEMA. It's not your standard zombie game. It is about various infections, and you will be able to play through 3 eras of the game. So your infection, sort of main storyline, main timeline, and then an apocalyptic timeline, and all the factions change throughout that. And it's a 50-year cycle. So actually, you can play through the game and reach that stage, or just focus on the timelines that you want to. So that's coming out soon. What's that image? Can't see it
That
there.
would be it,
Uh,
I think, except that's the
yeah,
tree
that's
again.
the RPG again. Yeah, so there you go. So
Full
I think
circle.
full circle. So I think that's
Yeah,
us. Yeah, that's just
yeah,
a little talk about
yeah,
everything, really.
yeah,
Everything going on.
absolutely. So like I had mentioned earlier in the show that the Stranded Warrior uh, is it has 17 awards, 18 selections. We just recently received another notification that we're going to be screened in another
Just now?
film festival for the 18. So we're 17 and 18. And so we're doing really, really well. You're executive producing on that, as well as the the Tower Protocol Resurrection. So we're doing really, really well. Very proud of our work, and we have it out on social media. So if you guys are following social media, you'll see we have all the stuff out there, and we have a couple of other things that we're working on. We've mentioned on the show, Doc McAuley, Galactic Beat. We're partnered with Glenn Eric Larson, and we're moving forward with various aspects of that IP as well.
Yeah, we started getting the tabletop artwork in
Yeah.
this morning. And there's a video game that's being worked on at the minute. So I'll maybe be able to show off some of the video games soon. Uh, so we can talk about that. We've got our novel that's written and is going to be published next year by Crystal Beck.
Yep. Crystal Lake.
And we have our comic book. The script is done, and that's going to be sent to Sheehan at Scratch Comics.
Hmm.
And yeah, we should be able to talk about these things a little bit more next year. And then we have our Battlestar book.
Yes, we do.
Battlestar book that Eric Larson's part of, that we're all part of here at IFB. And we've,
Lorette, yeah.
Lorette's involved in it, and there's a few members of IFB involved as well.
Yes.
So that's been a lot of fun to put together. Jack was actually involved. Jack Stauffer's involved in that as well. So that's it's a lot of fun.
Oh,
100%.
can't wait. Yeah.
Yeah, we're anxiously waiting to get that all wrapped up as well. So great stuff. Doc McAuley, you're amazing. Talk about inspiration. You're definitely an inspiration as well. You're constantly working, churning things out, doing, you're a fan. And I always like to mention this. Tipsy knows that when a fan puts together something and actually gets it out there, shares it in whatever form it is, we can always tell. It makes a big difference when a fan's doing it,
Right.
and
It's a work of
it's
passion.
there. Oh, absolutely. So thank you for coming on and sharing with us.
No problem. We're all doing it together, which is nice. That we're all like Tipsy, yourself, me, George, John, Tiny Bean. There's a lot of people doing these things. We're all doing it together, and I think that's important. To highlight as well. It's not just like one or two people.
It's a
there's a few of
family.
us.
A family.
It's
A family.
it's a family.
Put the R on
Um,
that next. Yeah. To put that in.
Oh, fuck's sake! Right.
Oh,
Okay.
wait, come on, man.
Wait.
We
There we go.
People are weird.
we
I think
almost went
frack.
through the whole
Frack. You gotta use
show
frack.
No,
without
no.
it's frack, man. What's the matter?
I was getting messages from somebody. I'm not going to say who, saying you haven't said the F word yet. Are you feeling okay today? Are you all right?
We're worried about you.
Yes,
Yeah, a little worried.
We're starting to get worried. I am a bit tired. I'll be honest with you. I'm a bit tired. I have. Well, Pete knows this. I've been pushing ahead on an awful lot of projects, and
Oh,
it is. I co-own a lot of companies, and it's been absolutely crazy in the last couple of days. I do have an official Terminator project I'm working on as well.
Ooh,
Wow.
official.
Sorry,
Wow.
official Terminator project. So that's I've nearly got that's another one. And I keep saying this will be the last one. I'm not doing any more of this. I
Yeah,
just
you know what Pinocchio is, right?
oh God. You do get to the stage where it's like how much more can you do? Because I try and keep it very tight to T1 and T2 because the other films or the other various bits and pieces, they don't really speak to me as much. I mean, I like that form of real dark technological horror, and I think it's important to talk about today. We need to be very careful about where we're going with technology. Yeah, so I've got a bit going on.
Tipsy, any final words as we
Nope,
wrap
nope.
up?
Once again, we appreciate you being here. Don't forget, like and follow us on Facebook and YouTube and X. I always have Twitter, but anyways, follow us on those. Also, the Picto plate. Oh man, the picture one, the one with the camera.
You're talking about
OnlyFans. He's talking about OnlyFans.
No, not
That's what he's
OnlyFans.
talking about.
That's my Cylon page. Gotta look for the rust on that one. But anyways, Instagram. There we go. Instagram. There we go.
Instagram.
I had
Come
to
on.
think about that one.
There
I
we
had
go.
to think about that one as well. Instagram. OnlyFans came to my mind first because I'm probably logged in there right now. But anyway, there you go.
Just don't. If you're gonna go there, don't forget to donate to the Cylon page. And anyways, Thank you for being here. Make sure you like, and don't forget we're going to be here next week. Pete won't be here next week. We'll actually have somebody sitting in for Pete.
Yes, we are. We're going
Because
to have
Pete is a slug,
Shallow,
and he's not doing
Battlestar
anything
Baltimore.
important. He's just going to take the day off or something like he normally does. But yeah, join us next week, Thursday, 8 o'clock. We haven't missed a Thursday yet. We do something every time. And don't forget, we have a really special Wednesday coming up, which is going to be the 17th of September, which is the Battlestar Galactica birthday, as well as the IFB birthday, because we launched our broadcast on the 17th of September in honor of Battlestar Galactica. So don't forget that. All you people at Dragon Con, party on. I wish I was there with you. Unfortunately, this year it didn't work out for me. The first time I missed it since 2016.
Wow.
But it is what it is. I will be there next year, or I will be at the Miami Vice 42nd anniversary. One of the two. I'm not sure yet.
Well, that sounds good. There's a convention, is there? Is there a convention for
Yes.
Miami Vice
I
is
didn't
a
know
conference,
that.
yep.
Huge.
I've got the outfit, the perfect outfit for that. I've got the white jacket and everything. I've got all of that.
You got to come down. Right, let's make it happen next
Oh
year.
no,
Next
I'm
September.
Not in the States.
Next
I'm
September.
Not in the States.
Okay, all right.
I'll protect you, promise.
All right. Yes, we will.
But anyways,
Well, guys,
thanks for joining us. We'll be here next week. And once again, don't forget, it's all about the fans, because the fans fuel the fleet. And take care.
Well,
Take care, buddy.